All right, so this is just a quick walk around and description and cold start video of my 1987 Porsche 924S rallycross car. Basically the story with this is I wanted to get into rallycross a year ago. My friend is kind of the big Porsche 944 mechanic out here. So he and a mutual friend were building a stage rally 944, and they thought they were going to use this car, ended up using another one, so they sold this one to me. Basically when I got it, we went through and did a ton of work on it. It had been sitting for a really long time, so my friend rebuilt all of the brake calipers. He did the crank position sensors and the timing belt and water pump, and really just, got it running for me. Oh, he also did new front control arms. Then I took it, proceeded to gut the whole car out, put a half cage in it, put the bucket seats in it, put the wheel in it, removed the AC and the power steering, wired everything that I needed for rally, put a new heater core in it, what else did I do to this? Did a ton of stuff. Eventually put a clutch in it, which was a big one and quite a job on this if you know how to do that. And really I just kind of made sure it was bulletproof for rally. So ended up needing fuel pump, ended up needing some wiring here and there. Did all of that and really shook it down, and I've been driving it every single week now, and it's just a happy car at this point. A few things going on with it. So it's on 15-inch phone dials with oversized snow tires, just slightly oversized. Works really well for gravel. I do have a set of 16-inch D90s over here. These just have all-season tires on them, but my plan was to put some track tires on here so I could use it for track as well. There's no rear sway bar in it right now. I took the rear sway bar out to get as much traction as possible on dirt. I do have the sway bar that was in it, which is a 2002 sway bar. This is a Weltmeister sway bar, which is aftermarket of period. So this would come with the car. It kind of needs, as you can see, it needs new links down here, but those can be rebuilt. Another thing that I did with this, which makes a huge difference, is I put a limited slip diff transmission out of an 83 944 into it. So that's a clutch type transmission or limited slip. Works really well. You have so much traction when you power on dirt. That also has a short shift kit on it, which is really nice too. Sorry if you can hear that, it's starting to rain outside. Other things to note, Bilstein rear shocks feel really good. It drives great on dirt. It's really amazing. So you can see down here it's been gutted. Basically I gutted it out and then sprayed the floors with floor liner. Dash still looks decent, headliner decent, of course cracked up, but it's not like gutted, it's still some interior bits. Window switch is right here. Of course you can build something to put that back. It never bothered me, I just left it. This wheel is on a quick release, so that will come off. For a driver's seat, we have an OMP WRC. For a passenger seat, we have a Sparco Evo Plus. The WRC is on a slider. The Evo Plus is not, it's fixed. And then we have OMP 4-point belts. If we go here, let's do this. Oops, key is on. Don't want to drain the battery. And I didn't start it up, I just pushed it out from that spot over there. So engine bay, I haven't cleaned this in forever. New ignition, you can see we have a bunch of wiring spliced here for the headlights. I did a new wiper motor and the blower fan, those are all new. Yeah, you can just see it's kind of spliced wiring because the 944 wiring is terrible to begin with. Headlights are also spliced in, but operate off of a relay. And then we have the KC lights, which are really, really nice, work awesome, also off of a relay. This was something I did for the heater. Yep, again, reminder, this is a race car. So we just have a valve for heat on or heat off. It's winter right now, so I have heat on. That just controls flow to your heater core, right? Makes sense. Same thing that your knob does, just on or off. It does drip some oil. It drips oil out of the front of the motor. I think it's probably out of the oil pressure relief valve area. That's where it looks like it's coming from. It kind of drips down and goes onto the rack. I just checked the oil level. It's been fine in the time that I've owned it. It's never been gushing out, but it does drip pretty regularly. Fix it eventually, but you know, it drives fine as is right now. We do have the throttle cam upgrade too, which is really key if you're going to have a 944 or a 924. This little guy right here makes a huge difference. But besides that, it's pretty much a stock 944 drivetrain. Like I said, I did a clutch in it back in July, so it probably has, I'll say, like 500 miles on a brand new clutch and brand new fluid in the diff. And then timing belt was done about this time last year, so that's all good too. So we'll come back here, just kind of show you. I do have a gasket for the hatch. There's not one in there right now. I bought it and just never put it in. That's easy enough. I have one that'll come with it. You can see everything back here is gutted. Yeah, well, I guess we'll start it up. Okay, so a few things going on here. Speedometer is not hooked up. Oversized tires wouldn't make that reading right anyway. For gauges, I moved the tach to the center. Tach works. Fuel gauge works. Temp over here actually I don't think temp does work, but fuel gauge works. That's the main one. All of your other gauges are over here, right? So I can turn this on, and we have oil pressure, we have temperature, and we have volts. Now, pretty much everything you need is wired off of this box. So if you know anything about 944s, you know that the alternator doesn't actually start charging until about 3,000 RPM. There's a trigger wire in there that's set to trigger when it hits a certain threshold. That has given me issues before. So I hardwired in a wire directly to the alternator, so you can actually turn the alternator on, just to make sure that it's actually making power. This is for your blower. So your blower, because it's a race car, is set to defrost only. It's just, I routed everything straight to defrost. This is on or off, right? So full defrost, no defrost, your heat is in the engine. And then these two down here are the lights. You can see right there. Besides that, we do have the regular light switch over here. It's hanging out. The lights do work. I pulled the headlight relay, which controls the headlight motor for the pop-ups out. I did that because in rally, the lights actually help me determine where the corner of the car is. So if you want the pop-ups, it's really easy. You just put, I think I can show you. It's hard to get out with taking that wheel out. So if you want the headlights to come down, there's a relay that you just put right here. And then you flip the switch and the lights go down. Like I said, I leave the headlights up for rally because I can see where the corner of the car is. Throw this down. Yeah, oh, one thing to know, I did some battery box repair, which always rusts out on these cars. There's a piece of tubing that goes down there that filters water out into the right. That's missing. I've been meaning to make a new one. So if it rains really, really hard, you will get a little bit of water on the floor. It hasn't been an issue for me because I take the car out and I bring it back, and you know, that's kind of it. It doesn't sit outside. So to start this, basically it starts and runs well. At cold idle, you need to keep your foot on the gas for just a little bit until it warms up. Not really sure what that is. It's always been like that. Easy enough to just give it some gas until it warms up and then just let it idle like normal. So we'll go here, go key on. We do have the upgraded relay, which powers the fuel pump before cranking it over, which is good. That fuel pump was replaced too, so that's a new fuel pump. Okay, and here we go. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit of gas until it warms up and then it'll idle. And you can see here, we're making no volts right now because we haven't hit 3,000 RPM yet. So I'm just gonna turn my alternator on. There we go, now we're making 14 volts. You can see our oil pressure is good. It's a little cold. It's probably like 40, 45 right now. So we're a little bit on the higher end. Once the car heats up, this will drop right down to like 65 PSI hot idle. It'll run at about 75 or 80, which is really good for these motors. It indicates that this motor is pretty healthy. This motor is strong too. It makes a lot of power for a 944. But yeah, I'll just let that warm up a little bit. Like I said, heat here, all this stuff works nicely. Let's see if it'll idle yet. Yep, there we go. Now we're idling. I'll just do a quick walk around. I'll turn the lights on, and then you can see. Someone asked about the exhaust. I believe it's a stock cat with a muffler here. You can see the pipe doesn't go all the way out. I don't know why it's that way. It's always been that way. See, snow tires have plenty of tread on them. I've never actually used them in the snow. I've only used them going sideways on dirt, and they actually do quite well for that. So, sunroof, I would assume the sunroof doesn't work. I've never tried it. I don't know why you would. But yeah, man, this is just a great car. Like, it's such a little beater. I love driving it. I love taking it out in terrible weather and sliding it around and just having a great time. Like, the way that this thing handles on dirt is mind-boggling. Like, for a rear-wheel drive car, it just does everything you want it to. It'll get so sideways. It's just amazing to drive. It's hard to believe because I have so much other fun stuff and everything, and I've had a ton of cars, but this is maybe the most fun I've ever had in a car, just driving this thing. Well, anyway, one other thing to note, we don't have a lock here. That'll open with just a screwdriver or anything like that. You can obviously put a new lock in there, but again, never felt the need. It's a race car. I don't need it to have a trunk lock. But yeah, this is the 924. Awesome little car. Really, really amazing.